What's up, guys? I'm Tinashe Moyo, and welcome to another episode of Stride. On this channel, my goal is to inspire people to take the first step towards their goals in life using my personal experiences. And today, we have another special guest in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my good friend, Jasper Mhishi. Brother.
Hey Tinashe, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. How's everything?
I'm good. I'm
Nice.
good. Compliments of the new season, actually.
Compliments, man. Am I the first one in 2025?
Unfortunately, no.
I wish I was, but anyway, it's all good.
Yeah, how have you been keeping, though?
No, I've been keeping well. I've been keeping well. Just grateful to God always.
Yeah, true.
Grateful to God. Life, sometimes we take it for granted, but just be grateful to Him.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
And actually, see, you look really
I
well.
I know, man. It's the festive food. Yeah, it's still kicking in.
So it was more of the festive season, huh?
More of the feasting, season. But now we're fasting, so one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah,
Because at our church, we're actually doing the 14 days prayer and fasting.
really.
Yeah. So how many days are you doing it?
No, this year it's been also 14.
Okay.
Yeah, we started with 14. We used to do 21, but now we do 14. 7 last year, and 14 now.
Okay.
Yeah, so apparently, we are fasting a lot. Yeah.
It's more like I sometimes laugh like
Yeah.
maybe people are trying to zone into the January disease.
Oh yeah. Or like they just want to pretend like we're just fasting, but they know that
It's pretty much a January disease.
it's a general disease. Okay, we didn't say that, but it's okay. All right. Yeah.
So anyways, just getting down with the show.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself and your background.
About myself. What do you want to know about myself?
I don't know whatever you feel is necessary.
Or is necessary for people to know?
Yeah.
No, okay, I'm not married. So that's number one.
Okay.
Yet. Yeah, so it's one of those. But I'm Jasper. I'm Jasper Mhishi, and I'm a devout Christian. A lot of people, when they ask, who are you? They go like, I'm Jasper Mhishi. I'm a photographer. No, I'm not a photographer first.
Okay.
I'm Jasper Mhishi. I'm a devout Christian. I love life. I love my family. I love my friends. And I love my work. Yeah. So I think one of the things that I'm learning now is priority. Like, first of all, God, friends, people, and then my work.
Okay.
Yes. So I am involved in the creative industry. I'm involved in photography. I'm involved in film.
Okay.
And also, I really have keen interest in business. So, people that know me, people that get to know me, they'll actually be annoyed because I talk a lot about business and media. So that's what I'm evolving myself in. So, business, media, and also I'm a teacher at heart. So, I always want to share what I know because I've heard that the more you teach, the more you get better. So, it's a selfish thing, but it's a good thing also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm actually thinking back to, I think, Trevor Noah's last stand-up comedy.
Okay.
He spoke about this whole introduction thing.
Okay.
Where it's like people are asked like, who are you?
Exactly.
People start telling you what they do.
Exactly.
Not who they
Not
are.
who they are. Exactly.
So I actually appreciate that kind of approach.
No, thanks, man. I've had to think a lot about it a lot.
Yeah.
So it's one of those.
Yeah, and I think that's where you get to see who knows themselves and who doesn't.
I hear you.
It's like we will kind of care more about what we do than who we are.
Exactly.
So it's hard to evolve.
It's hard to
life.
evolve. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because people give their identity on what they do. But what if something happens? Like, what if I lose my hand or both of my hands? Does that make me less of a person? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see all those things. All those things, yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So what inspired your love for the camera? Because I've always known you
For the
as
camera, as a cameraman.
yeah.
Funny enough, when you sent me the questions, I was thinking, where did it start? I'll be honest. I think I've always enjoyed watching things.
Okay.
From a younger age, and as you sit down and you look back at your life, you get to realize, oh, this is where it started. I used to, back in the day. Yeah, I'm now exposing how old I was. But anyway, back in the days, we used to get these VHS cassettes, like where you put in a VCR, and we used to go and hire. And I was always keen, of watching things. Me and my brother, we always enjoyed that.
Okay.
And growing up, also, I realized, oh, okay, I'm probably a visual learner. I think around Form 1, Form 2, my goal is I always wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor, but I was very shy. I was not a person who was outspoken, but I only outspoken to people that I know, not everyone. And then as you grow, you're trying to be like everyone. You're trying to be, because you probably are considered smart, so you have to go and do the sciences and realize that you do sciences but you don't enjoy them, and then fast forward, you come to a point where you realize, oh, this is actually the thing that I've always wanted to do, like doing anything with media. So I would say maybe, I know I've gone. I would say when I was in Form 2, when I had that picture of wanting to be an actor, I've always wanted the camera, but I usually thought I was going to be always the person in front.
Okay.
But I realized later on, fast forward, that I became a person at the back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of the camera. Yes, yeah. So it was that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
And I just love how things usually come together.
They do.
Like, especially sometimes you start questioning yourself, like, when did it really start?
When did it really start? Exactly.
That's when like there's actually a true love for that kind of thing. Because sometimes, it's cool to remember the specific moment, but sometimes you're just like,
where did it start?
Yeah, and
that's
when
true.
It takes you back to a certain point where just like, when you're looking back now,
exactly.
I feel like, oh, okay, it actually started in a funny way.
A funny way. Can I just add on to that also?
Sure.
Like, one thing that I realized, I was training my brother yesterday. Oh, okay. Yeah. He just recently collected his results. He passed, thank God.
All right.
But I was telling him that, when I look back now, I wish I was there. I could turn the hands of time and go back and tell my younger self that, no, you need to follow this path. Like when I used to read, let's say if I read something and it was more visually compelling in my mind, like when I go to school, I don't need to read it again. I can read a book and it's very visually compelling, and I'm done. And when we do exercises, tests, I'm top of the class.
Okay.
Why? Because I was visual. But when I needed to do other things where I needed to read a lot, I had to put in the work.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be on top of the class, but average though. So I realized back then that all the prizes of the subjects that I got were because of the visual element. That was just like of the person I am. I'm more visual. That's why that's why it became easier why it became easier for me to have this career of the camera.
Okay.
So like, people have to know that there are visual learners, audio learners, those that just listen, and then those that just read. So when I sit down, like what you're saying, when I sit down and I look back, I get to see, oh, okay, I should have followed a path of, like subjects that really take me into that path of visual.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's one of those things though.
All right.
that I learned.
And it's actually an interesting take, like the visualizing
Exactly.
things, because I think growing up, I was very much a lazy person.
I hear. Okay.
So in terms of reading, I wasn't a fan
Of reading
at
I
all.
hear.
So I think late last year, I've got a friend who's actually like a bookworm.
Okay,
He
okay.
loved to read a lot.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, can you like help me develop this habit?
Mm-hmm.
Even to this day, I'm still struggling, but I'm taking small steps.
Small steps, exactly.
So sometimes when they advise me,
Yeah.
they're just like, try and visualize
Exactly.
what you're reading.
That's true. That's
Then
true.
it actually makes it easier for you to understand the story, because you just think reading is
It's just like doing it. Yeah, exactly. And also, like, if you notice also, like, there are a lot of people who actually write visually. You get it?
yeah
For example, like, if I mention and say, okay, like, I always read, it wasn't just the things that are like maybe stories or history or something.
yeah
I'll give you an example. When I was in high school, there was just this, like, we had these textbooks that were already there in the curriculum,
yeah
but I never read them
Okay.
throughout.
All
you know,
right.
like, you have a syllabus here, but there was this book. I think it was a Cambridge book. But what they had some, like, they really had color in their book. They had color, and the way they wrote. You'd see yourself in it. So you have to also, I think the advice that I can say is, when you're looking for books, find books that can be stimulating to your mind as a creative.
Yeah.
And even when you're watching things, or listening to things, you need to listen or watch things that connect with you, and then you utilize that as you go. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I think is a trick to it. Yeah. And I actually got a prize for that because I just read it once and I was done.
All right.
And I didn't need to read again. And I just go in the exam. In the exam, it's easy for me to actually do that.
Okay.
Why? It's because I'm a visual learner. Yeah, I know I'm going there, but I just want people to know, like, where it came from. It's not just, sometimes it's not a thing of just saying, you just start a camera. Sometimes it's a thing of understanding yourself.
Yeah.
Understanding what works for you. Because it's important. If you understand what works for you, if you understand what makes you learn,
Yeah.
if you're a person who listens, listen. If you're a person who watches videos, watch videos. But make sure that they are verified.
Yeah.
And they just always work with that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I even noticed when it comes to podcasts, I've got friends who they don't really like to watch the visual.
Yeah.
Like, especially when they're working, they
Exactly.
just minimize and just listen.
They listen, yeah.
But to me, I'm just like, I actually want to see what's going on.
Exactly.
Connect the sound with the video, because my dad, now retired, but he was a filmmaker.
Wow.
Like editor, producer,
Wow.
all of those things.
Okay.
So he always tells me, like, it's 60% sound and then 40% visual.
Visual. Wow.
So that's why I was just
amazing.
like, okay, so I need the 100%. I
Exactly.
can hear the sound, but I also need to see.
To see it, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's an interesting approach.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. That's what it is. But yeah, know where you stand. That's the
Yeah.
most important thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to divert.
it's
yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
No, I
fine.
hear you. Yeah.
And so, better known as the creative thinker.
Yes.
What sparked the idea for that brand, and how has it evolved, like, over time?
Okay. So, Creative Thinker Inc. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure where it evolved from. But I remember when I was meeting my mentor when I was very young, like ambitious, wanting to take over the world, wanting to do everything.
Understandable.
Like I remember I had this book that I like. My first name was actually, because I used to be called Jasela by my friends.
Okay.
Like the short, and I was like, that's what I want to call my name. And in that organogram, right, I had put other company names and then Creative Thinker Inc. And I think for now it's like maybe that was like 14 years ago. Is it
Okay.
14? Yeah, somewhere there. 14, 15, I don't know.
Okay.
But it just always stuck. And I think also I was fortunate to grow up with friends who loved to read. And especially motivational books. And
Yeah.
for me, motivational books were more compelling because, again, they give you a life story of someone. For example, I used to read the Jack Canfields, the Outliers, the Donald Trump's books, but I got to see their lives through the books because like they were engaging. So that's where I think it probably came from, creative thinker, and just also being inspired by Steve Jobs, the kind of like thinking, the kind of like innovation. That's where I believe it came from. But I don't know like where the name just came and say, okay, this is the name, but I just know it came from all those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I actually like is the name is always inspired by the things you love. Because sometimes people just get names just for the sake of it.
Exactly.
Like, there's no meaning behind.
There's no meaning behind it. Exactly. Creative and thinking.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you see the difference between people who make it. You know, I'm always inspired. Like when I was listening to John Maxwell recently, and he was talking about, you know, creative thinking. Sometimes it's not about this big thing. You know, I've built an empire. I've done that. No, creative thinking is the simple thing. For example, you can say, I want to do 100 podcasts this year, and you break it down into segments. Okay, how do I do 100 podcasts this year? So probably I need to do 3 or 4 podcasts per month, per week. I mean to say.
Yeah.
And then you have like maybe let's say 20 or 15 per month, and then you achieve your goal.
Yeah.
But how do you do it? Now you go back and you break down how you're going to work. So for example, you can shoot your episodes in advance.
Yeah.
And then you know the dates where you're going to post them. And then you know how to get people on board to come along and watch your podcast. You know how to position yourself to strategic partners who can come in and blow up this podcast. You get it? That's creative thinking. Creative thinking, again, is a low-income family who want to take their child to Harvard School. And they manage to do that. They find a way to do that. So creative thinking is not that big thing. It's what you do with what you have. You understand? Do the most with what you have. I'll go back again to the Bible. Moses had a staff.
Yeah.
That stuff is the thing that that freed the Israelites.
Yeah.
You get it. You know, you just work with what you have. Yeah. So that's what I believe creative thinking is all about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brilliant insight. Because I think that's pretty much my approach in life, just in general. Like, I'm actually thankful for, I don't know if I should call it a gift, but self-awareness.
That's good.
It's something I don't really know when it actually developed, but now I'm at a point where just trying to connect things. Like, okay, so if I do this, what's going to be the end result?
Exactly.
If I do that, what's the impact that it's going to have? So,
That's true.
Yeah, I think that's actually creative thinking.
That's what it is. Self-awareness and working from there, you know, working from there. It's important, you know, it's important.
Yeah.
So I can interject with this. I'm really inspired when I look I look at big names. For example, I know this he probably is considered a controversial figure, but I like his thinking.
Yeah.
And I like his thinking, and I like how he works with people around him because of that. Like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Jay-Z for me is a creative thinker.
Yeah.
You know, he's a creative. He's been a creative, and people used to actually look at Jay-Z and go and say, "You're just a rapper, right? You're just a rapper. Stick to rapping." But in his mind, when you listen to some of the lyrics that he sings, you can see that he was seeing the future.
The future,
He
yeah.
was also saying, okay, this is what I want to do. And he was making sure that when he makes money, he knows where to invest. You get it? So creative thinking is also on that big scale where you know this is where I want to go. I'm going to use this platform to take me to that. Even with Stride right now, you can actually start now, but you also have to have a bigger picture. You have to also have the long game.
Yeah.
You have to also now have to think, beyond Stride. If I'm going to, who am I, like, am I going to travel the world with this thing? If I'm going to travel the world, what am I going to do? Who am I going to have? Be intentional about it.
Yeah.
Because that's creative thinking. So it makes you, it makes you be different from the rest because you're starting to do the bigger thing now. Yeah.
Yeah. And even when I look at someone like 50 Cent,
Yeah.
when you look at the G Unit members, like he's still the one whose name is still up in the lights. Now he's doing power, he's got all these different things going on. Like he knew, like, okay, I'm going to do music for a certain period of time. Eventually it's gonna fade.
Exactly.
There's gonna be newcomers coming in.
That's
so
true.
once I fade, I make sure I've got my savings, I'm investing.
Exactly.
All of those things.
And you start doing that, even if you're going to look back at when they were at their prime. There was a time when everyone was out there clubbing, and he was in his room working on the brand. So you see, that's called a growth strategy.
Yeah.
That's being intentional about your growth. So again, if you want to grow in any area, you have to be very intentional. And if there's one thing that I would want people to get in this interview is always have the long game.
True.
The long game is very important. If you're going to study and research and you're going to do anything, think long game.
Yeah.
Don't worry what people will say to you today. Why are you doing this in your own room? Why are you doing that? But you know your game plan.
Yeah.
You know your game plan. David Beckham right now is the best footballer in the world right now. Messi is a club. But he was intentional about it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, I'm living the best part of the world, or the best competitive leagues in the world, and I'm going to a very unknown league, but I'm going to use my brand. I'm going to use myself to make sure that it grows.
Yeah.
And look, he was smart enough to get, not just to get money from there, but to also just be in a place to get a deal that would make sense now, 20 years later. So you see, it's the long game always. And it's the long game.
True.
Long plan. Yeah.
True. Even like this famous actor Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Now he's got Wrexham. And you can actually see with the way he markets the thing.
Exactly.
Now he's putting his acting experience into that. Like, you don't normally get that in football.
No, you don't.
So
you don't. It's all about, again, the long game. Never underestimate what you have. People underestimate what they have a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just a photographer. I'm just a videographer. You being a photographer or a videographer, no matter how people are going to look at you and say, it's a career that is just down. No, it's not. Because guess what? Wrexham had to do documentaries.
Yeah.
And they have to, once they do those documentaries, some people in America who didn't even like soccer. I remember there's a guy who actually said, I didn't like soccer. I was actually watching it. I didn't like soccer. I thought it was a boring game until I watched the documentary and the episodes. And guess what? When they watched those episodes, they're actually now big fans of soccer. And guess what? The business has grown.
Yeah.
You get it. It goes beyond that. So again, never underestimating what you have and thinking long game and thinking even bigger. Why not? And start where you are.
Yeah. It just comes back to the Bible in Zechariah, should be chapter 4, verse 10.
Yeah.
The one that says, do not despise the humble
Days,
beginnings.
of humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Never. they change everything.
Definitely.
They change everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think from the way you're actually speaking,
Yeah.
like you earlier on said that you are actually a teacher. So this is
I'm a
actually
I'm actually teaching. People should actually pay me for this. They should pay me for this insightful knowledge.
so the whole teaching thing then
yeah.
spills into your time at the Zimbabwe Institute of Vigital Arts.
Yes,
where you were actually a lecturer there. Like, how was the experience, and how did you get to start working at that place?
I think my greatest experience, I would say that's where I found my purpose, actually.
Okay.
This is me. So when we were talking earlier, I remember I was telling you that I started off practically. You know, I just started off, you know, like going and, you know, I was fortunate to find a media house that accommodated me, that trained me.
Okay.
And I got to get the skill. But you know what? Sometimes when you get the skill, you think, now I'm a star. And then along the way, you realize, oh, no, I'm not. Yeah. But that experience helped me to come now to Ziva, the Zimbabwe Crystal Arts.
Yeah.
And I had a great opportunity. One of my close friends was the director then from there. And he was like, you know what? We're looking for someone who can train videography and photography. And I'd never done that, but I was, what you call it, I was more of a practitioner, but I had not really, like, you know, like I was telling you earlier, I don't enjoy watching a lot of tutorials, my bad, but I just enjoy learning, failing there. And I'm sorry to those people that I have failed their projects on. I really am sorry. He's laughing. I'm not. I'm sorry. Yeah. So what it did for me, it gave me a different perspective, because I knew every week when I was going to teach those guys, like, I was inspired, because most of them knew, you know, they knew the basics, the fundamentals, and it made me like pull up my socks to actually go and do some research and say, oh, okay, I know to do this, but I'd never seen this concept. So it was now easy for me to sit down and train and talk to them. You know, what's fascinating and what's fun is that when you've done something and when you can sit down and you teach people, you can actually shock yourself and say, wow, I can actually do that. That was the experience. And and for me, it helped me in a way to realize, well, wait, this is actually the niche I want to take over. Because I know I've tried everything. I've tried being a music video director. I've tried to be a wedding videographer. I've tried to be a podcaster. I've done direct. I've done everything. You know, I've done everything, but there was always this thing missing. What will make me different from the rest? And for me, I realized from that time onward that teaching is going to be something that I'm purposed to do. And even up until now, like, I might, like, when I'm teaching or explaining things, or teaching or explaining concepts, it doesn't mean that those are like the in detail, but it can be a guideline for you to go and research. That's what I usually do. Like, I always want to give you something that you can go on and research and go and expand your knowledge, enhance your skill. That experience at Ziva was really eye-opening. It really gave me my purpose, to be honest. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I remember, I think there was my sister's friend. When I was still trying to find my way through the career. She had done design at Ziva. So she was actually the one who told me about it. But it was back in 2010, because I didn't do well, like, academically. So I was still trying to figure out, like, okay, what can I do professionally? So she was the one who spoke about designing and then Ziva. But I never went to that place only until that time.
Okay.
We met there.
Oh, yeah.
So I had ideas of actually studying there, but obviously funds did not permit.
I understand.
But because of the work that I had done, because I was just self-taught when it came to design.
Okay.
So meeting Colin there, he was actually impressed. Like, okay, you actually have something here. So maybe, how about you get a day where you can at least share your experiences from the real world with the students.
Exactly.
So I was actually moved by that, even though it didn't materialize. But I felt something like, okay, I think maybe speaking to people, especially inspiring, would actually be something that I'd love to do for
That's good.
as long as I can.
That's good.
So I guess it actually ended up spilling to what
To
we
this,
have today.
like you get to find your gifts by doing. You know, there's like, I love this statement by this certain pastor in our church. Used to say, the anointing is in the doing. You know, you become better by doing. You become better by trying and seeing where your purpose or whatever you like is meant for you by doing. You see, like the anointing, the purpose, you know, like now you can do the podcast, now you can do MCing, now you can speak in front of people because you took you went on and said, you know, I'm just going to give it a try. You know, that boldness, that courage, that's the thing that makes a difference.
Yeah.
That's the thing that makes a difference. And I even want to encourage people, do not be afraid to try.
True.
Fail. If you know, like like nowadays I have this mentality of saying, let me do it. If I fail, all right, I'll learn. I'll do something better. But if I win, it's a success. So you're not actually losing.
Yeah.
When you do something, when you move and when you go for it, you're not losing. You're actually on the right path.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And there's, I think, one of these celebrities who said that they also embrace failure.
Exactly.
In the sense that there's always a takeaway from that. So I think after I heard that, I started to see things and take things differently. Like, okay, even if I fail, like, I mean, 90%, or rather, just about everyone has failed.
Exactly.
If failure killed, no one would be alive.
No one would be alive. Everyone would have died
Long back.
People have failed, but they make a plan to do better all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a story that you can actually use as you go. That's very important.
Yeah. And also, speaking of failure, like the school ended up closing down.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know how, like, it probably took a toll on Prof.
Yeah.
I've never met him, but just those experiences, I know what they can do to, especially the creator. So, in your experience, how did you handle the closing down of the school?
Okay. First of all, I just want to say it's not yet closed down.
Okay.
It's not closed down per se, but there's been a construction, like reconstruction. So it's been a project in the background for now. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, like I'm just disclosing this, but it's not closed down. You know, with the advent of the pandemic, like when the pandemic came, everything just stopped and halted. So at the moment, Prof has his team that is working with to actually rebuild it. So it's still a work in progress. So yes, it has taken a bit more time, but very soon the zero is coming. And it's coming full force. So yes, it was disappointing when we had to cut down on the physical trainings or physical mid and physical school, but the online is coming, and also in the future, when funds permit, it can come back as a physical. But it's still there, and we're still hopeful that it comes and it helps a lot of students.
Interesting, because in the back of my mind, I was always like, man, this was like one of the best schools
It was.
I've ever seen.
It was.
So knowing that it just has to.
It was. No, it was. And it's unfortunate, sometimes, and I don't know how many people are going to watch this, but there was a point when things were getting bad.
Okay.
And you'd see Prof would not be with a lot of people in terms of like supporting him. But I really would hope, if people are going to watch this, those people that came through Prof, those people that are making a difference. Prof is a gem in this nation, especially what he brought in this nation.
Yeah.
What he just needs is support and help. True. What he just needs, not necessarily sometimes finances, but networks. Not necessarily like just coming in a place where you're like, he just wants our money. But guess what? You are where you are because you were guided. You were shown the principles that were not being shown. I know a lot of people are saying now, there's internet and everything, but there's this thing that experience brings. This thing that someone who's really educated and understands the fine arts can bring to any individual. But all I would just want people to know, or former students or former lecturers, is that support Prof. Even now in the project that he's working behind, just support him. Yeah. Okay. And that even includes me. It's that challenge that I always have to come back and say, you know what, I found my purpose there. I would want to find a way to help.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's good news that it's still up in the air.
Still up in the air.
And I know everything happens in its time.
In its time. Yeah.
So it's just a game of patience, I guess.
It's a game of patience. It's a game of because when something has been built for a long time, remember, it's the foundation. When it stands, it will stand more.
True.
Definitely.
So you once met I think one of the most talented guitarists, Mono Mukundu.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I remember, I think, was it some picture you posted on social media?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. You're a big fan of Mono?
Kind of. Like, I like the way he plays.
Yeah, you like the way he plays, okay.
Yeah, because I think back then, I was usually one-sided when it came to music.
I see.
I was just R&B, but then I ended up zoning into different genres, like the jazz and everything. Because he also once played there was this remix, the Fire Emoji remix.
He did that.
I think the guitar.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So I was just like, this is really
it's brilliant. Really, it's brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah. For me, technically, like when it comes to music, technically, like when it comes to instruments, all right. I can't comment, but I know he's a legend.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying, working with Tuku and all that. One thing I like about him is brilliant. I got an opportunity to meet him because I was helping. We're collaborating with my friend who was doing a documentary for urban groups.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was like he asked me, Jasper, come help me do this. So I was helping him shooting. So we got an opportunity to go to Mono's studio. Yeah. And all I can just say, Mono is brilliant. He knows what he's talking about. He talks facts, Can I say we have a personal relationship? No. But it was a working relationship. And because also one thing that I really respect about him, he has an open mind. He's willing to help anyone who wants to learn.
All right.
If you go in and say, hey, we want to do a documentary about this, you would have come in and say, you know what, I'm too big, you guys are small fish.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, come, ask questions. And then he just started speaking. So we had a great time, we had a great opportunity doing the documentary, and he's actually in that documentary. So it was really an amazing experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the key takeaway you took from that experience? Yeah.
Humility. Like humility is very important. you know, you get to respect a person who's humble. And
True.
also even, you know, again, whenever you do anything, whenever you do your craft, have the knowledge. Have the knowledge of really making sure you know your history. Because when we were interviewing about the urban groups, he was telling us a lot about, you know, what made urban groups not work. Urban groups did not work because they tried to Americanize. Is that correct term? Americanize? I don't know how to, but they tried to westernise,
yeah.
westernise, you know, everything. And and funny enough, when you listen to some of the songs, I'm like, guys, they were actually stealing beats from American. But you see, that's the problem. They were not authentic. So if there's anything that I got from Mono, is that authenticity is everything. Authenticity is everything.
Yeah.
That's what I got from him.
Ah.
Yeah. Interesting, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting for sure.
Uh-huh.
And I think authenticity is pretty much my goal in life.
Exactly.
Because growing up, you know, I used to take so much inspiration from all of these different people.
Exactly.
From the West side.
You see now.
But then you get to a point where you're like, now, more than anything, my dad is my role model.
That's good.
Because
That's
I'm just
amazing.
like,
That's amazing.
You can actually see him on a day-to-day basis, the stuff that he does, the way he thinks, like whatever he goes through, you can actually relate. And you're like, okay, I can follow in his footsteps, be better at what
what you actually do. Exactly.
Yeah. So that actually brings in the humility aspect. So I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's all about humility and authenticity.
So I think the first time we met at Ziva, you spoke about the TV show you had. I think the hairstylist. Now,
what is it? Did I talk to you about that then? Really?
Yeah,
I
did.
forgot. I actually forgot. I was because I saw the question. I'm like, how did you know? Did you go on my profile? Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. Back then. Oh yes. Yeah.
And it's a funny thing. I can remember some of these things. Like my memory is very sharp.
Interesting.
When it comes to that.
I see.
But the sharpness didn't work in school. I don't know what happened.
I know. Remember what I told you earlier on. You are a visual learner.
Exactly.
So if you're a visual learner, if I'm talking to you, you're picturing things.
Yeah.
So I can relate because, you know, you can tell me things. I can tell you 10 years ago, okay, this is what you told me, right? But I can forget your name. You get it now. So you have to, so the key thing that people need to learn, study if you're a visual learner, if you're an auditory learner, and if you are a person who reads. Yes. So if you know your strength, your weaknesses from there, weaknesses from there, you can always work on it, but enhance your strengths. Like what you're talking about, like I had totally forgot that I spoke to you about the hairstylist. And I think in that season, that's when I was actually doing the TV show then, because now it was, then I think it was showcasing on ZTV or something. Yeah, I remember.
ZTV.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So one funny moment that I remember from that encounter, I think the second time we met, we came back to Ziva again.
Yes.
And so I was just like, so how far with that hairstylist thingy?
Okay, thingy.
And then you were like, oh, the hairstylist thing. And then I was just like, oh, too soon.
Too soon. I was like thingy.
It's like I don't really care about the thing that I'm doing.
I get you.
It's just like,
I hope I wasn't rude in a way, because you never know. Like,
nah.
Oh, okay. I was like thingy. Okay, you never know, guy. Maybe I was in a bad mood, relationship problems, all those things. You never know. This life. Yeah. Wow.
Well, I personally thought that I was a little bit rude.
Is it?
Like thingy, because I'm like, especially now, if someone says, oh, I just subscribed to the upcoming podcast, I'm like, What do you mean upcoming? It's already there.
It's there already. It was
So-
upcoming. Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
No, people take things like catch feelings differently. I don't remember if I caught feeling. I don't. Maybe I did.
Fortunately, you didn't.
I didn't. Oh, so that's good. That's good. Yeah, the hairstylist was a good experience though.
Okay.
Yeah. Fortunately, and like again, when you're evolving in your craft, you get to do different things. Like what I was telling you, I have done almost everything: produce, shoot, be part of a team. So I was fortunate to be part of the team that produced. That I don't know if I can mention the company's name, but you want me to mention it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So it's actually a company that deals with hair. It's called Eva Hair.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was part of their marketing team back then. So we were part of a team. So I was producing / editing it also and shooting it. So we got an opportunity to travel across Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Yeah. So that time it was actually, that's when I was still at Zira. So I was doing Zira training, but also working there at the same time as a consultant. So like I was more of a consultant, media consultant.
Okay.
So it was a good experience. We traveled across Zimbabwe, shooting, getting to know different hairstylists, different hairdressers, I mean to say.
Okay.
Hairstylers, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And them competing, and also we actually had a final. Yeah, so it was really a good experience, I don't want to lie.
Okay.
It was a good experience because, like, for me personally, I'm a big fan of development. I think that's one thing that I'm really noticing, that I love anything that is to do with development, either skill development, either just anything development. So when seeing people develop, from just being in maybe Kwekwe, Kadoma, or Matari, and then they're part of the top 10, and they come on the final, and it's a grand, like at HICC, and then they do, and I think the winner then went there with the two grand. Yeah, so it was really good. Okay. I love what the company was doing. I just hope they continue doing it. Yeah. But that was the experience for me. And also just sitting down and editing it and sending it to ZBC, and then people saying, "Oh, we saw it on TV."
Yeah.
And knowing that you did the work, it's satisfying. It's a lot of work, but it's satisfying. But I guess when you look back, that's the experience you get.
Okay.
With time. Okay, but it's in the doing, like I was saying. When you do, opportunities do come.
Very true.
When you are just stagnant and wishing that things will come your way, they won't.
Yeah.
When you just say, I'm stepping out, God always meets you where you are at.
Yeah. It's like even the Bible says your gift will make room for you.
Before kings. Exactly. Yeah.
So were there any challenging moments when you were creating the show?
The show? Yeah. Sometimes fatigue.
Yeah, of course.
No, fatigue. Because literally I had to do, I think I did 10 episodes that I had to go there. And I was the only one editing it. You get it?
Yeah.
And yes, we have shot, we have everything. I have everything. I'm supposed to edit. I'm supposed to send it to the TV station. And then, but guess what? That's work. That's what you have to figure out, and that's what you have to go and say, okay, I had that experience. So, with time, that's when you get to know, that's when you get to appreciate, the hardships and all that. Even those hardships where you have to be the one editing and doing that, it kind of it gives you the strength within that you can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
It's like you're building endurance.
Yeah, you're building a muscle.
Yeah.
So I have a muscle that you don't see. Yeah. So, it's one of those.
Yeah, I think the challenges are fun when you look back at them once you're done.
Exactly.
I remember, I think there was this episode that I did, the first episode of 2025.
Okay, yeah.
I did everything a day before release,
Oh, I hear you.
and it was super hectic.
It's hectic. It's
Man.
very hectic.
Yeah.
You can't mess up.
So
Yeah,
and
you
that's
can't.
the kind of
Exactly.
pressure that you have, like,
Yeah.
man, so
Yeah.
I have to make sure everything is done properly. But funny enough, at first when you start thinking of it, it feels like a mammoth task.
It's
Like,
true.
you're just like, man,
Yeah.
this is, I hate these things. Like,
I know.
you know you don't, but because
yeah,
of the pressure.
Exactly.
Then once you're done, you feel so satisfied, like, oh, okay.
I did it.
And then you start telling yourself, like, I don't think there's nothing that can stop me when it comes to approaching life. So yeah, I think it's always good to embrace the challenges
Yeah.
when it comes to anything that we
Definitely.
do.
That's true. That's true. And good insight.
Yeah, yeah. And still playing around the teaching element.
Oh yeah, the teaching element. Yeah.
You used to post nuggets
Oh yeah. Oh, you used to watch those.
on Facebook. Yeah. Both me and Paddy, we used to watch
Serious?
them. So it's just like, okay, there's something there. But I think when we first started to see those,
Yeah.
you're not in that element.
I'm not in that era. Yeah.
So you don't really understand, like, what's he trying to do. So it's just like, man, nuggets, like, you start taking it from a perspective like, oh, polish, you know what I mean? Like the nugget polish that we used to have.
Oh, like the nugget polish. Like, what is he talking? Nugget polish. Oh snap! I never thought. Oh, nugget polish. Next time I'll go like nugget polish. Kiwi polish.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah,
That's
so
fun.
that's just how
Wow.
Paddy and I are, like the visual.
That's good.
Visual
That's
thinkers.
good. That's good.
So
yeah.
at first we're just like, what's this?
What is he trying to do?
Yeah, but then later on, you then understand, like, oh, especially doing this,
Exactly.
I then got to appreciate, like, okay, these are insights, like very valuable insights.
Exactly.
And what I liked the most was most people are moved by likes. If you get 100 likes, 200 likes, like, oh, I'm doing something. I learned the hard way, of course, when I was still starting out with this podcast.
Yes.
My short clips, the ones I would post on Facebook, social media generally,
Yeah.
I would see maybe 20 likes, 25 likes. Oh, like, I'm actually doing good.
Doing great. Exactly.
But when you then go to YouTube, you're like,
It's like very few. No, I get you.
But it's not matching up. Like, you're supposed to be converted to go to
YouTube.
YouTube. So now when you see anything getting like 2 or 3 likes, you're like, okay, these are the people that are meant for
me, exactly.
For that. So
Exactly.
what was the idea behind the nuggets? Yeah.
Well, so for me, when I'm going through something, my therapy, it's weird. Okay, I probably tell you. When you see me posting a lot, I'm going through something.
Okay.
I'm going through something in life. Like I think when I made a decision to do those affirmations, because I used to do a lot of the be kind to yourself thing, just once a week. Then I was like, you know what, I want to give it a shot to do it every day. I think I did it in 2 months. And in 2 months, we managed to do 58 every day consistently. See, also another thing, a muscle that I'm training myself is consistency.
Exactly.
So showing that if you make a decision and you just continually do those things, you can do more. Yeah. So what for me the motivation was, like I was healing from some pain that I was going through, an emotional pain. Okay. So it really was a release. Because for me, a release, if it's a release that can help someone going through what I go through, it's worth it. It makes a difference in me. I guess that's the thing that I was saying, the teacher in me.
Yeah.
I want to share. If let's say I'm going for $1 million right now, if you're following me, you might actually become a millionaire because I'm saying, let's go together. You get it? Like, I'm doing this, share, try this, try that.
Yeah.
But so that's the kind of thing that's motivated those nuggets. And also prior to like I've been doing this, be kind to yourself, since 2019 actually. Got it from a friend of mine, because I really understand that people in this age are not really kind to themselves.
True.
People can be, I can be so, I can be so mean to myself. Say bad words, derogatory words towards me, always cursing myself, instead of learning to love myself so that I can be able to love the neighbor. I can be able to love those people around me. You understand? So that's where the term came, be kind to yourself. And that's when I was like, okay, what does it mean to be kind to yourself? Number one, being able to affirm yourself. So if you notice, I was saying be kind to yourself affirmation series. Because it's how you speak to yourself that makes a difference. And it was like, I usually don't explain it, but like I was intentional in how I posted it. So there was a thing where I did what we call the personal economy. The personal economy is how you're creating your own economy, how you're using your skills, how you're using the gifts that God has given you to serve people and to make money. So how do you think? How do you speak that? And another part was to how to speak to yourself. How to say. A lot of people don't say I love you to themselves. You get it. Like if you notice, I used to write I love you, put your name there, and then write something, so that you get to learn to be able to speak those things. So I love you, Jasper, because not because you're perfect. You are very imperfect. I know you, but you know what? I love you still, and I know we're on the healing journey. And another part, the final part, was more to do with just thanking God. And just being able to say, Lord, thank you for the gift of life, and also being able to speak as He speaks. Sometimes we destroy our destinies by what we speak. If God blesses you with life today, you'll be like, it's bad, but do you think God is pleased with that? Instead of saying, okay, listen, things are not easy, but I'm grateful for the gift of life from God. And then you just continually build from there. So that's where it was categorized from. It was so that's why it was easy for me to post those, because there was a structure already. So when you're a creative, if you put structure and then you put in the creative, it makes it easy. It makes your consistency easier as you go.
All right.
I need to get paid for this. People need to start paying me for being a teacher. So quite interesting.
And I actually like the idea behind that. Like, because some people don't know how to handle themselves if they are going through certain things.
That's true.
So at least giving life lessons, like you can actually tell, there's some things that you can actually tell that these are actually genuine. Then there's other things where people are just trying to fill a void. But then you spoke about releasing.
Exactly.
Sometimes I usually like to play around with words. Don't know if this really makes sense. But it's like release. I just took it up and made up a word like it's like a real ease.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah.
Those are bars. Those are bars, my guy. Those are bars. I like them. Okay.
Yeah.
Real ease.
Interesting.
Interesting. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
The interview this one.
You always have to make it fun.
Yeah. So you're saying it's therapeutic? Yeah.
It's therapeutic, yeah. And so it's like when I'm going through certain things, I'm like, I structure either an episode or even when I have a guest. Some of the questions are not just, questions like, okay, I'll just get them to speak about this. But these are also questions that are coming from my own perspective as well.
That's good.
Like, okay, I can't really say these things, but they can say it better than I can. So, yeah.
Wow.
I think it's just an idea of finding the best outlet when it comes to... Because I was even telling myself I think towards the end of 2024. Like, I wasn't really involved in life that much when it comes to maybe hanging out with people. There's people who post. My previous guest called Dion.
Okay.
He just said that he's a certified meme lord.
Serious.
Yeah.
Like the certified meme lord.
Certified meme lord. So
Wow.
whenever you come across his posts on Facebook, most of them are just memes.
Wow.
And they're actually fun. Like you can actually see, like, okay,
This is actually interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Interesting.
just who he is. So I'm like, okay, it's something that he likes to do.
Exactly.
There's people who just like to share pictures of themselves, just living life. I used to be at a point where I was just like, I won't share pictures of myself because I want to separate myself from the crowd. But like, you can simply live life in the simplest form.
Exactly.
So I was just like, okay, I managed to strike a balance between knowing that if I'm posting a certain picture of maybe me or either the dog out there, I'm not trying to fill a void.
Okay.
So if I feel like I've got something going on,
Yeah.
I don't post that random picture. It's unlike with the nuggets.
Yeah.
Like at least like even if you're going through something, you just post that experience. It's gonna do something to someone else.
Exactly.
But when it comes to what I'm going through, I just come here. I let the audience know what's happening.
I see.
But when it comes to just having fun, just general, then you can post a picture. So I was able to
strike the balance. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
And you know what? One thing I love about this, like what we're talking about, release. Like it's really sad when you see the pandemic that's there now.
Yeah.
Pandemic of, alcohol, drugs, pandemic of, how people have lost themselves. There's lost hope.
Exactly.
And we just also have to, to make it a goal, you and I, to make sure that, let people find healthy outlets.
True.
We all go through a lot. Like challenges will always be there. But how are you going to do it healthy?
Yeah.
Do it in a way that is healthy for you. That will protect you, that protect your family.
Yeah.
That would also make you a better person. You understand? If we really make a decision to actually say we want to become a better nation, it's you and I who are the leaders of tomorrow, or even the leaders of today. So what we do now counts.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I guess it's just about understanding yourself.
Exactly.
More than anything. Once you do that, develop that self-awareness,
That's true.
you'll be fine.
That's true. That's very true.
And anyways, moving on.
Yep.
So Chipo told me about, I hope I'll pronounce it correctly. VEDU.
VEDU.
Or it's,
Oh yeah, VEDU. Yeah, it's VEDU.
That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it's pronounced. You don't speak Shona?
I do.
Why would you go like it? Yeah, that's how it's pronounced.
Because I don't know, people would just be like, oh,
let's go VEDU.
VEDU. Because if you remove the V, it's kind of like edu, and then you just education, edu.
Oh, you with the boss. Edgy. It's VEDU.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she just told me a bit about it, and I can't say what she told me because you have to say.
I have to say it differently. Okay, no.
Yeah.
I think I've realized somehow, from what I've been working on, VEDU seems to be like the thing that people like. Yeah, because I think it's a sad reality. If you've noticed, maybe it's everywhere, but I've noticed in Zimbabwe, people celebrate you when you probably, let's say Stride has been bought by maybe MTV, And now you're being sponsored. Everyone's like, oh, it's ours. It's ours.
Exactly.
You see now, it's
Exactly.
ours. You know, but like when he was doing it, you just were seeing like you're just like 2 views, 3 views. You're watching and you never even commented and say, hey, congrats. Or even comment and say, well done, bro.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
it? So it's a sad reality that people don't usually tell you that you're doing great. And that's where you see a lot of people quit or go like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so celebrating our own is celebrating people that have made Zimbabwe, or that have just made the Zimbabwean flag, what do you call it, shine out there.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
shine in the Olympics on an international scale. Now, Zimbabwe is like a lot of people always think that what good can come out of Zimbabwe? A lot can come out of Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
We have people in the sports arena, we have people in the music arena, we have people in the film arena, we have people in science everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, that make a difference. So why should we celebrate people when they die, when we can actually celebrate them now? You know, let's give them their flowers now and say, hey man, you're doing great, you've made great things, we support you, you're there for us.
Yeah.
And not just like them because someone has endorsed them from America or Britain or anything. Let's endorse them now.
True.
So that's just how I can paraphrase it. VEDU is just about celebrating people, celebrating our own. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually love the idea of bringing it close to home.
Yes.
Like when someone immediately comes across it, they know like, oh, it's self-explained.
Exactly.
So I'm like, yeah,
Exactly.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the same thing with this podcast.
Exactly.
You know, there's some people who come to me and say, no, you should start getting like these big guns, the popular guys. And I'm like, no. My goal from the start was to simply get your typical everyday person.
Exactly.
No, because no one appreciates those people.
You see now.
We just want to look at the ones that have already made it. Like, yeah, you're going to push me to, help me get views, subscribers. But no, it's like, this is a community that's growing through the people that are still trying to make it in life.
Exactly.
So I really love your way of thinking. Creative thinker.
Thank you,
for sure.
No, thank you, my guy. Thank you. One thing I funny enough, I was just saying, like, the beauty about content. I don't know if we had spoken it on the camera, but I was saying the beauty about content is that content, you can always look back at it.
Exactly.
So imagine Elon Musk when he was being interviewed 2002. If you've seen some of the videos, like, that's Elon Musk, but you can hear him 2002.
Yeah.
Not that he was a nobody. He was somebody. He had done something, but people were like, it's just one of those, small players.
Yeah.
But you hear him then, you hear him now. Same language, same vision, and he's still doing it.
Yeah.
You understand, and he is at that place. And then if you just imagine that person who interviewed him then, he has a profile, he has a lot of videos, and someone will go and do that. Like his profile will go up because people are going back to the content. So what you're saying now, like what I commend you for doing this is that you don't know who you are interviewing now, who they'll become. They might be the next president of Zimbabwe, and you go like, hey, I had him in my room.
Exactly.
I had him in my studio.
Yeah.
And that can actually boost you. You don't know what life has in store. So never stop doing that, because at the end of the day, when you stick to your guns, stick to your plan, and your plan works or it doesn't work, but you stuck to it, it makes a difference, because you've been more of a person of integrity to yourself. Yeah, which is more important. Yeah,
because I'm actually thankful for what I went through growing up.
Yeah,
I wasn't especially in school.
Okay.
I wasn't a popular figure or anything like that.
All right.
I never got any props. Instead, people actually laughed at me.
Is that?
Yeah, I think just because of the way I was, I was this shy, quiet kid. I never
Okay.
really spoke that much to people.
Okay.
Got beat up a lot, particularly by the teachers.
Wow. Because of that.
Because of that, and even like not really being as bright as they expected in school.
I see.
So psychologically, it affected me. Even to this day, sometimes I still get that trauma. Like, man, am I really someone? But when I started to see things from a different perspective, I was just like, okay, now that I didn't get that kind of acceptance, at least I know how that feels if I don't do that to the next person.
I hear you.
So at least I can start giving that kind of acceptance to them.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, I like what you said. Just to add on to that, it all emanates to empathy,
True.
because now you connect to someone, you know, from a point of view of like, I want to help someone.
Yeah.
And that's a difference. That's what leadership is. You know, if you are very much in a place where you can be empathetic to the people that are there, that's what leadership is.
Yeah.
And again, story, like anyone can go through what you're going through, like what you went through, like what you're sort of talking about.
Yeah.
We just have to encourage them that everyone has a destiny. Everyone has God has a plan for them. For I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord.
Yes.
Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. People can come in and harm you, but God's light will shine upon you.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you see, you know, let no one ever tell you that you're not enough. Let no one ever tell you that you're worthless, because they didn't create you.
Yeah.
They don't know you. They don't know the intricate details of you. They don't know yourselves. They don't know the blood that's running in your veins. They don't know
Exactly.
how many hairs you have.
Yeah.
That's how special you are.
Yeah.
They don't know, you know, your unique self.
How was your experience working on the Comic King show with Simba Kakura?
I think for me that was what do you call it? It was more of a project that really made me realize I enjoyed filmmaking more.
Okay.
Yeah, it made me see the side to me I never really had. So what Simba brought to the table is a comedian, and he had a way of telling a story through skits.
Okay.
And what I liked about those skits, what happened is that they helped me to the skits helped me to understand how to, you know, to have a punchline, you know, to tell a story,
Yeah.
you know, to merge different cameras and just to tell a funny, compelling story. So I enjoyed it. I
Okay.
enjoyed it. For me, I would say it was my my PhD PhD training. Yeah. So yeah. I wish we had gone with it for. I wish we had really pushed for it, because when we started it at the same time as Pastor.
Ah,
That time.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We used to actually hang out with the guys when we were doing it. They were like, "Oh, guys, we're loving what you're doing." Yeah. But yeah, if we had stayed for longer,
Yeah.
maybe it would have been bigger like that.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, it was a good experience, and yeah, Siba is a great dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just heard a few things about him from the sister.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, he's a comedian. He's this, he's that. So
He's a brilliant comedian. All I can just say that is a brilliant comedian. Like how I rated them personally is when I went with them to this Indian community, and they invited them. There was a guy from South Africa who was coming in from. He's an Indian comedian, so he invited Simba. So I was just capturing content for Simba.
all right.
You know, if you go there and you make those Indians laugh, you are a star. And he really did justice. So yeah, I hope he gets back into comedy again.
Yeah.
He really needs to.
I think I would love to see some of his
Yeah,
his stuff, because you just get to hear and
about
then
it.
and then you start visualizing.
Exactly.
Like, okay,
Exactly.
maybe.
He was, yeah. You should check this. You can check it on Facebook. The what do you call it? The page is still there.
Okay.
The skits we did, they're still there.
All right.
10 years later, but yeah, they're still there. You know, you always get to look back and see, okay,
Yeah.
this is where we've come from. Ish, I've done a lot of stuff, sure. Now you're making me realize, good, yo, snap. Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay.
Like the all rounder.
As the all-rounder. Where in cricket, I'll be called the all-rounder. Yeah, but now in China, I just want to stick to one thing. One thing. Exactly.
And I think it's a good thought, like knowing what you need to do
Exactly.
after you've tried certain things, because how people can be like a big repaces, you just have to
go up a big jet and yeah, big ring repace, but at the end of the day, like you have to, and then the statement in Anzi, you do what you are. You know, you do what you are.
Yeah.
You know, if challenges are going to come and you stick to what you believe could do something no guaranteed, you always stick with it. But
True.
When you don't have that integrity within yourself, integrity with yourself,
Yeah.
you're always just going to be swayed where the money is. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm always talking with Paddy. Sometimes you just have to respect yourself.
Exactly.
Because,
it's important.
Because if you don't, you just do anything,
anyhow.
Yeah. As long
anyone
as
can just push you at this angle, at this way. You have to go there. You have to do that.
Yeah.
And you just do it without that.
Sure.
Yeah. But I hear you. Yeah.
So, who would you say has been your biggest inspiration, like in the kind of industry?
In the industry.
Yeah.
Local or international?
I think both.
Okay, who has been my inspiration? Yeah. Funny enough, I get inspired by different things than in my field, actually.
Okay.
So, for example, if I'm going to give you my greatest inspiration, I'll probably talk about soccer. Why I talk about soccer is because I get to learn different things that they did to make sure that they succeeded, and I can take that and use that in my craft.
Yeah.
But I'll try to just think. I'll try to just think. Internationally, who can I say inspired me? In the film industry or just generally?
Yeah, I think that's a film. Film industry, yeah.
In film industry. Okay. I'm always inspired by consistency. Okay. And I know this is funny. People who know me, I always tell them, but these days I haven't been watching it. There's this cartoon that I like.
Okay.
It's called 44 Toons. It's a parody cartoon that talks about different soccer players.
Yes. I think I know it.
You probably have seen it. Yeah. I used to be a really big fan. Nowadays I don't know what has changed, but if I'm to say inspiration, it comes from there.
Okay.
Why? Because of the consistency. I've seen this guy since 2014, 2015 on his YouTube channel. Just pushing and being consistent, looking at what's happening on the ground and just making it into an animation that is so funny. That's really interesting. Like sometimes I would not watch soccer and just go on 44 Toons and just enjoy and know this is what happened. And then I'll just watch the highlights later. But it's something that engages me. Why? For me, it's because of the consistency of that guy, and also obvious humor, dark humor, all those things. But you can laugh at it. You can laugh at how you think Messi can be like if he's a cartoon character and speaks, and he speaks He speaks an English accent, and you see, all those things. Yeah. And locally, who inspires me? A lot of people inspire me, but I'm trying to think who. At the top of my mind, who can it be? Locally. Okay.
Okay.
I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking.
Okay.
Like, who's doing what now? I don't know. I'm not saying they're not there.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
understand
trying.
you.
I'm trying to think who like who. Yeah. But locally, I'll just say, as a whole, like people in the creative sector, like especially the people in the creative sector who have been there.
Yeah.
I'm not talking as one person, but just like as a people who have stayed in this industry despite the challenges.
Okay.
In the film industry, you look at John Jaku, and you look at, they have stayed there and they have evolved. I have some fellow filmmakers, Caesar. She's doing VR sets, but she's been doing it consistently. I've seen some of my friends, personal friends, also in the industry, who are now working on, like policy. Like I have a friend of mine, like colleague, now he's the head of the NACZ, which is the National Arts Council of Zimbabwe, I think.
Okay.
He's called Napster. He used to be a DJ, but now he's like a policy maker. And you look at Munya Blogo, I look at my friends. But why I'm saying it from that perspective, it's not that I don't see one person, but I see the journey that they have taken. That, over the years, they have stuck in this field, despite them diverting. I know with Napster, he was like, when I first met him, the organization I spoke about earlier, where I used to work, he was my immediate boss.
Okay.
So he used to focus mainly on, video and also just do events. And I learned a lot from him then. And then he pivoted and he started doing broadcast radio and all that. And then he pivoted, now is into management, and then you see all that. But you see, why I get inspired by those guys is that you see their journey from where they have started to where they're going, and how they're growing their work.
Okay.
So I can't pinpoint one person, like I said, but I can just pinpoint people I've seen grow. People I've seen grow. And the beauty about it, they have not just grown in one state, they have gone different direction, but they're growing there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's cool. And I actually appreciate the idea of just doing it collectively.
Exactly.
Because we're so used to like picking just one person.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's this, but everyone is different in
their own field. Exactly.
Yeah,
in the way they need to do things. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, I usually do, or rather take things in a way where I take, let's say, for example, like podcasters.
Yeah.
I look at so many different podcasters out there, and I pick up small elements from whatever they do, and then I
combine that. Exactly.
It's important. Get your own different thing. So it's super important to make things in a collective manner.
Yeah. That's what it is. You have to think, because it's the industry is bigger than yourself. Yeah. It's bigger than one person. So you have to think collectively in every way. Yeah.
So through all of what we've talked about, as we are wrapping up, like, what legacy do you hope to leave behind in this world?
Yeah, just I would love people to know that Jasper created platforms, opportunity platforms, for people to thrive.
Yeah.
People came to the platforms that Jasper created, and they were able to upskill themselves. And when they were able to upskill themselves, they were able to better themselves. They were able to create systems and businesses for themselves. They were able to take care of their family and their grandchildren's family, and create wealth for the next generation. So it's all about creating opportunity platforms. That's what I would just want people to know. And even I might not give you, you might not be part of the platform, but just talking, you might get something and go and implement it on your own. Because I have also learned a lot from people who have shared either through books, through conversations, through interaction. So the legacy that I just pray for is that people get better, and they make a difference for their families. Yeah.
All right. So it's kind of like generosity in a way.
I would say that. Yeah. Because for me, development means a lot to me. If I see you develop, like, I would want to see you develop more than where you are now.
Yeah.
I would love for you to actually have a bigger studio where people come in, where it's a multimedia business. Why not? It has to be that. As you grow, I grow, people grow, and that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all about the development side.
That's actually a good take, because there's some people who just don't like it when someone is progressing.
Exactly.
Start getting jealous.
It's a bad trait. It's a bad trait. But you know what? If you're not a giver, you don't grow. Your world does not grow. Giving is such a selfish act. But it's a very good selfish act, because what it does, it grows your world. As you give, whatever you're giving, it's going to come back to you, pressed down, shaken together. It'll come running over, or every time, knowledge, whatever, it'll come back to you.
Definitely.
Yeah. So if you take that as a habit to be a giver in everything that you do, your life will have meaning and purpose.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're not living a life of meaning and purpose, you're just being told to go this way, go that way, and you don't have a direction to yourself, and you betray yourself, and you lose that integrity to yourself. That's where a lot of people miss it.
Yeah.
But you need to be in a place where you are honest to yourself. You are honest with yourself. Self-evaluation, self-awareness, like what we were talking about. That's the greatest thing that you can actually ever have. Self-evaluation, self-awareness. This is me. This is what I do. I don't do this, and I stick to it.
Yeah.
So
I really do like that approach very much.
Yeah.
Because I even look at myself sometimes when it comes to the social aspect.
Yes.
When it comes to talking to people, I think naturally I'm just a giver. Like, I even mentioned that in my first episode of 2025.
Okay.
Like, I'm just so relentless when it comes to checking up on people.
That's good.
Sometimes I'm just like, what's up? And then, of course, you've got people who take that for granted.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
he's always going to look for us, so
We don't need to look for
him.
I hear you.
So the respect that we also talked about, like self-respect, you get to a point where you're just like, oh, this energy that I'm channeling towards these people that don't want to look for me, I would rather just take it back and channel it to myself.
I hear you.
And then the more I feel energetic,
That's good.
you then find like, okay, there's someone else who actually needs it more than
them.
Yeah.
But I'll just I don't know if I say correct you for that. Yes, you have to control your energy.
Yeah.
But you know what? Even if you're going to give them that love and they don't reciprocate, just continue giving them anyway. But make sure you protect yourself, right? And then even when you give it to someone, because if you look at that, like I know sometimes it's hard to go like, okay, why should I always care for these people who don't care about me?
Yeah.
But care for them. If they don't really care, give them their space, but don't shelve them. Don't. When the time is right, they'll come back to you.
Sure.
And then you focus on that, because that's what it means to love those okay, we're gonna call them enemies or haters. I don't know, but I'm just saying. But just love those people that probably don't love you or care for you, but just genuinely care for them.
Yeah.
Give them their space and just know where you stand.
True.
That's the most important thing, more than anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Don't don't do anything. Like it's something that is like that people don't understand. If someone slaps you, like in the Bible says, like, someone slaps you, give them your other cheek. Like, why? You get it. If someone takes your cloak, give them another one. Why? But I believe God is trying to work on our character. Again, we go back to that humility and say, when you see people not responding to you, just say, Mwari, you are the one who knows them. All right? You deal with them.
True.
If they want to come, they'll come. But you deal with them. I care about them, but I'm not like closing the door like completely. But when you tell me to go back, yeah. So I'm preaching now.
No, it's fine, because I actually appreciate that because it's like in life, like you said, we're not perfect, and we don't know everything.
No, we don't.
So as long as you keep an open mind, like what you just said, like, okay, to me, I actually felt like, if I take it back and go to someone else, it felt correct.
Exactly.
But there was always an element where you just take it away.
Yeah.
But then there's the conscience, like, but did you really need to? Like, that's not you.
That's not you.
Yeah.
Or maybe like what you do is you just keep your space, but say, God, deal with that person. If they come back, you're not going to literally cut them off.
Yeah.
You're just going to have that mercy that God has for you. Then you just build from there. Because at the end of the day, look at how God looks at you. Yeah. Look at how you sin, consistently, but you go back to Him. Does He cut you off? No. But He says that I am going to love you unconditionally. It's hard to love unconditionally. Yeah. But ask Him to help you to do that. Yeah. So I need to have my ministry now.
You definitely do.
Yeah. So good. Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yes.
And so, what advice would you give to aspiring creators, but also just, I think, people in general? Because of course, like you, I'm just taking it from your approach. Like, you don't just single out one category. You just like to go for all of it. So yes, we can have the aspiring creators, but then there's just people in general, some who are just struggling with things like depression. They don't know how to maneuver in life. Like, what advice would you have for people?
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say, number one, know God. You know what? A lot of people, when talk about knowing God, they think go to church and do that. Yes, go to church, yes.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you go to church, you're going to find the most imperfect people, just like you. So there's going to be disappointment and all that, or you've been burnt by that. But again, intimacy with God is number one. Because what it does is that He walks with you in every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
The emotional aspect, the depression, and all that. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it. Like, I would have come in and tell you, believe in yourself. But you know what? You need first to have that belief and confidence that you have in God, so that it can be easy for you to love yourself. Love the Lord with all your heart and your soul. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot love you if I don't love myself. And coming back now to that point of being kind to yourself. Don't define yourself by what you do. Don't define yourself by your grades, if you have passed or you didn't pass. Don't define yourself by what people say. Oh, you're tall, you're fat, you are this. That's not who you are. Your real essence, your real true self is within. You're created in the image and likeness of God. So that means that if you're created in the image and likeness of God, God really understands and he knows you. You understand? So because he has created you in that image, he has created your neighbor, your neighbor as yourself. They also have a spirit in them. So you have to genuinely love them for who they are, not for what you see them, not for what you perceive them, not for because they're going to give you whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what brings what we call authenticity. The authenticity, if you are very authentic with yourself, if you're kind to yourself, if you can tell yourself, listen, this is where I am. These are my struggles. This is my, this is where I fall. If you know yourself that way, I'm not going to come to you Tash, and say, just because you smoke or you drink, you're cut from being my friend, or you're cut from, serving God. No, I have empathy to go and say, okay, listen, I also fall in this area.
Yeah.
But I'll walk with you, with time. When the time comes, you will be able to do, and God will work with you. So authenticity, you need to be authentic.
Yeah.
And also, okay, so like this comes, why I first talked about God, yourself and others, because everything that you're going to have to do, it starts from within you. If you're going to be creating something that the world will take for years to come, what they're taking is the essence of you. So because if you understand who you are, you understand your God, and you love people around you, you're going to do things that will better the community. Okay. So be authentic in whatever you're going to do. Look at, I like what you said, you get to see other people. Other people are authentic in their way, and you can connect the dots, connect the dots, and then you can make yourself who you are. Because what has been or what will be is still the same. Yeah. So be authentic, and when you create, don't just be bold. Just be bold to create. Do not be afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Try, fail if you can, fail again if you can, fail again if you can, because there's been a lot of failures. Man, there's been a lot of failure in my life. But one thing I love about that is I come out strong.
True.
Exactly. I become a different human being. You understand? And at the end of the day, love what you do. Love it. Enjoy it. Life is too short. We don't have to, I wish we could have 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 million years. You could do so much, but our life is too short. So in that short space of time, make an impact. And also, when you make an impact, make sure, because you're not just representing yourself, you're representing your family, you're representing your mom, your dad, your grandfather, maybe who passed away, grandmother, great-grandmother, or the generations, the people around you, your community, everything that you do, know that you're representing a community.
Yeah.
So when you're entering into a room, showcase that you're representing a community. You get it? So be passionate about what you do. And whatever you do is very important. Whatever you do, it can open doors. If God could use Moses with the staff, God can use your camera. God can use your pen. God can use your brilliant mind. God can use your science. Like I know it's all about artists. Also, I also love talking about everyone, even in the science field, in the you're a rocket science, or God can use what you have. For it, for ministry, and not just ministry, but for it to impact the world.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I believe people can do.
Yeah. Sure. And it's spoken with so much passion.
Yes.
Shows you really love what you were doing.
Oh, I really love what I was doing. Yeah. I need to teach more.
You definitely need to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed that kind of lesson, because at least now anyone who watches this episode gets to take away something from that.
Exactly. That's important.
Because it's collective, and I think it's a valuable lesson, because with some of the guests that I usually have, I just niche down.
Niche down, okay.
Like, okay, if it's a guest that's maybe into journalism,
let's
like,
just focus on that. Yeah.
So what advice do you have for aspiring journalists?
Journalist.
But
I see.
the next person is not a journalist,
I
so
hear you.
at least, yeah.
So it goes back. Yeah. Sorry. Like for me, I think broader because I don't know. That's I don't know if I'll call it the teacher. I don't know, but I think broader. Like because a scientist also needs to know this because what they're doing also is important. Like what you're doing as an artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. We usually have this segment called Quick Strides.
Quick strides, okay.
Yeah, where we just have these fun, fast-paced questions so that the audience also gets to know you in a fun and light-hearted way.
Serious. You should have told me earlier, though.
Well,
okay.
I just did now.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, yeah. Wow, interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so just 5 questions.
Okay, cool.
And then
then we're done. I'm out. All right. I'm not longer needed here. All right. Yeah.
So your first question, favorite location to shoot?
I like mountainous views with good trees, beautiful trees, like those kind of like, is it pine? Yeah, those like nyanga kind of like trees.
Okay.
It's just beauty there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And second question, what's the biggest creative challenge you've faced?
Creative challenge. What's the biggest creative challenge? I think scripting what I don't like. Being forced to script what I don't like. And then no. No, actually recently there's a project I've been working on. I literally, I don't know if it's a creative challenge. I don't know, it was draining me, like seriously, especially on the editing side.
Okay.
Like, have you ever done something where you're editing something but you don't feel it? Like you literally don't feel it.
Yeah.
Like when you go on the machine, you just like either have to pump in having Red Bull energy drinks to try to keep up, and then probably just work an hour and then sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the project. I don't know why. It's a really decent project. It's really an impactful, but I don't know why I don't connect with it. And I can actually tell that it really didn't come out the best because of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the creative challenge, I would say, is I don't know. I don't connect with it, or it's just not. It's just something behind it. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it happens though.
It happens.
It
Yeah.
happens
Yeah. So
a lot.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Okay. And next question, quite an interesting one.
Yeah.
What's your guilty pleasure when it comes to food or entertainment?
Chocolate.
Oh.
Chocolate. Only one.
I don't.
Chocolate ice cream.
Oh. Okay.
And if I'm watching a series that I really can enjoy. I'm not a person who watches a lot of TV, by the way, or series, unless I'm quite bored for a season. But if you see me watching a series where I can go and binge watch it, I think I have a problem that I can actually want to binge watch it for, until it's done. Yeah, so it's chocolate ice cream and watching a binge series. That is fun. As long as it's comedy, there's some comedy in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty.
All right.
Yeah, and next question, favorite way to spend your weekend?
Favorite way to spend my weekend? I like spending my weekends these days with my girlfriend. Yeah, it's actually interesting this day. So yeah, I think it's cool.
Okay.
I think it's cool.
Nice.
Put that on a reel.
I will. I definitely
Put that
will.
on a reel.
It's gotta go viral.
It's gonna go viral. Like, scoring points.
Yeah.
Yes.
And last but not least, this is my favorite one.
Okay.
Gym or jogging?
Gym.
Yeah.
Why I like gym? Yeah, I know I don't look it. But why I like gym though? Like, to be honest, why I like gym? I think it's the environment.
Yeah.
For me, it's about the like I don't want to lie to you. Since January, I've been telling myself I want to jog, and I have never jogged in the morning. But when I go to the gym, literally when I say I'm going to the gym, I can actually wake up early in the morning, and I can actually spend 2 or 3 hours in the gym.
Okay.
And I just enjoy it. But it's not that it's something special or anything, but the fact that I'm seeing people doing it, it kind of like motivates me to do more. And I've seen that I'll choose gym any day.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll just use the treadmills anyway to jog. So
it's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both. Yeah. So it works that way. Gym for me any day.
Okay.
Any day. Any day.
All right. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's the end.
That's the end. Wow.
Big Strides and the episode as a whole.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Definitely.
Can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah, but well done, Knife. So it's episode 43. You've been pushing.
Yeah.
That's good, my guy. Consistency.
Yeah. Because
Keep at it.
especially when I look at, there were times when I would miss weeks. I would go for like 3 weeks and then one episode end of the month, or even like the whole month, nothing. But I still had that guilt conscience, like, you still need to
continue doing this,
even if like the failure that we've spoken about.
Yeah.
I would fail along the journey.
Yeah.
But I would still tell myself, like, okay, use what you learned from that period.
Yeah.
And make things better. Yeah.
And that's how you become better as you go. It's in the doing.
Yeah.
It's in the doing. Remember, the anointing is in the doing.
In the doing, exactly.
It's in the doing. Yeah. You can quote me though. It's not mine, but you can quote me. Jasper say the anointing is in the doing.
In the doing. Because I mean, the doing was like said the whole episode.
Yeah, it's in the doing. It's doing.
Yeah.
They have to do.
So, this is the end of the episode, and I really appreciate you coming through.
No, it was a pleasure.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the conversation. You brought me back to some things. So I've done stuff. But I'm grateful to God for that. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate.
Yeah, Mom, I'm actually thankful as well, because you're just thinking like, okay, is it really gonna work out? Like, you have your own vision.
Exactly.
Like, okay, so when Jasper comes here, is it really gonna work out, or it's just gonna be one of those? But it worked out way more than I imagined. So
we thank God. Always thank God. Always. Exactly. That's important.
So I really do appreciate you coming here. And I mean, I learned so much from your teachings. And I just hope that the audience also gets to learn as much as they can. Because, I mean,
I really hope they do.
Yeah.
I really hope they do.
With the teacher, because the good thing is that this teacher doesn't beat,
Oh, I don't beat. I don't beat. But I also don't share with people that don't want. So if you don't want, it's okay. I'll keep it to myself.
That's his own way of beating.
That's my own way of beating. I hear you, a teacher.
So I mean, that does it for us. I think before we close, maybe I could just hand you just a small amount of time to maybe just share your handles with
Oh,
the
okay.
audience,
All
maybe
right.
if they want to know more about
Okay, that's
the stuff
cool.
that you do. Yeah.
So our handle is at CreativeThinker Inc. At CreativeThinker Inc. Facebook and YouTube, especially YouTube. That's where most of the videos that I've done that are there. Facebook also, we have that. There's work, and then like we have something for photography and videography. It's called A Dream More Pictures. A Dream More Pictures, yeah. So at Creative Thinker Inc., Facebook, and YouTube. And also for me, if you want to see my handles, Jasper Mhishi, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook again, and I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok. Yeah. And what else am I not on? Yeah, I'm on everywhere. But yeah, you just say Jasper Mhishi and that works.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, make sure you follow this guy because you'll definitely get to learn
Exactly.
so much about life.
Exactly.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you've been getting value from my content, do leave your thoughts in the comments section. I'd love to know what you guys think. Make sure you leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. But if you're a subscriber and you feel there's someone else that needs this, share the link with your loved ones and even the unloved ones as well. Just give them the link anyways.
The unloved ones.
And yeah, we just grow together. So yeah, this is from me and Jasper. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.